everybody, and welcome back to the Sorcerer's Stone review. Before we get things rolling, I want to talk about two things that I accidentally forgot to cover in part 1. First off, the students earn and lose points for their respective houses. The house with the most points at the end of the year is awarded the House Cup. And Snape is not only played by Alan Rickman, who actually has white hair and not black, but is also head of Slytherin House. Now with that said, let's delve into Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Part 2. The students are being taught how to fly brooms, but something a little wonky happens with Neville's broom, and for some reason it decides to fly uncontrollably. He gets caught on a hook or something and whoa! Dude, is he alright? Man, he must have several injuries from that.
Oh dear, it's a broken wrist.
Oh, okay, a broken wrist. Yeah, a fall from this height and looking like he falls face first on the ground, and it's just a broken wrist. Okay. While Madam Hooch takes Neville to the hospital wing, Draco feels he should make fun of Neville and takes his Remember-All.
Did you see his face? Maybe if the fat lad had given this a squeeze, he'd remember to fall on his fat ass.
Holy crap, dude! An 11-year-old just said ass! I mean, in today's day and age, it's not that surprising, but this is 2001. Harry rightfully wants to get it back, but Malfoy makes that difficult by trying to make him get it while in the air.
Bit beyond your reach. What an idiot. Give it here, Malfoy, or I'll knock you off your broom. Have it your way, then.
After tossing it in a far-off location, Harry zooms off and tries to catch it. He does catch it, and damn! Dude, for a kid who has never flown a broom before and was only just taught how to make it hover, he certainly has all the flying movements down. Anyway, he catches it coincidentally in front of McGonagall's office, and this gives her an idea.
I have found you a seeker.
She wants Harry to be the Seeker in a game known as Quidditch, and apparently he's the first and only first-year student to be on the team. Alongside Harry on the team are Ron's twin brothers, Fred and George. This is another example of where they are fun characters, but they're not really developed much in this film. But from what we can gather, they seem to be carefree and always joking, turning what can be a dangerous activity or idea into a joke.
Our job is to make sure that you don't get bloodied up too bad. Can't make any promises, of course. Rough game, Quidditch.
Brutal, but no one's died in years. Someone will vanish occasionally.
But they'll turn up in a month or two.
Also, that's like their only line. Honestly, I think the only other things they say are,
He's not Fred, I am. Honestly, woman, you call yourself our mother.
Oh, I'm sorry, George.
I'm only joking. I am Fred.
and that's about it. Also, one of the biggest coincidences to ever be coincidence. Harry's dad was a Seeker when he was a student. Alright, so after a long day's work and saving the Remember-All, they start heading back to the common room and...
What's happening? The staircase has changed, remember?
Whoops! Forgot to bring up that. The staircases move,
Let's go this
and I guess instead of waiting for another one to move, they go into this room.
Does anybody feel like we shouldn't be here? We're not supposed to be here. This is the 3rd floor. It's forbidden. Let's go. It's Filch's cat. Run. Quick, let's hide through that door. It's locked. That's it. We're done for. Move over. Hello, Mora.
Well, wait, why are you running? I mean, I know it's Filch's cat, and he doesn't exactly seem like one you would just run up to and hug, but I think if you said something like, We're sorry, the staircase moved us here. We didn't know where we were right away. There was nothing specifying this was the 3rd floor, and there was no sign on the door saying forbidden, do not enter. I think that could warrant a reasonable explanation as to why you're here, and possibly get you out of trouble. So if you wanted to know why this floor was out of bounds, but because this wouldn't be an 8-movie series if they died here, they run back out of the room just in the nick of time. Ron questions why they would keep a giant Cerberus in a room, but really after hearing
The 3rd floor corridor on the right-hand side is out of bounds to everyone who does not wish to die a most painful death.
I'm just shocked that he's shocked that there's actually something in there. But there is a point to the Cerberus being there. So, after almost getting eaten by a giant 3-headed dog, Harry learns how Quidditch is played by Oliver Wood. It's kinda complicated to explain, and it would take up a lot of time if I showed Oliver explain it. So, here's how it works in a nutshell. Chasers throw this ball in one of these 3 hoops to score points for their team. The Seeker catches this yellow ball called the Golden Snitch, and that team automatically wins, but for some reason earning that team 150 points, even though it completely ruins the idea of having a scoring system in the first place, but whatever. Catch is, it's extremely fast and near impossible to see. This is why I said before that it was important that I bring up Neville. If he hadn't got the Remembrall or had that flying accident causing Malfoy to throw it and Harry catching it, he would not have been considered being on the team in the first place. So, yeah, thanks to Neville, Malfoy, that random person that sent Neville the Remembrall in the first place, and a broom, Harry was able to become the Seeker for Quidditch.
You catch this, Potter, and we win.
So here the students are now actually being taught how to cast a spell. Which one, you might be asking?
Wingardium Leviosa.
I know there will be at least one comment referring to a certain joke from a certain video from another certain Harry Potter video, but I have nothing to say other than the spell allowing you to make objects levitate. After that class, Ron for some reason decides to make fun of Hermione for being apparently the only one who managed to cast it.
It's Leviosa, not Leviosa. She's a nightmare, honestly. No wonder she hasn't got any friends.
Wow! What a fucking no good, blowing, extremely cruel piece of shit. Sorry about that. Now Halloween rolls around. Hermione isn't here because of this son of a bitch. Ron's remarks earlier, and the students are just enjoying another feast when...
In the dungeon! Turn around in the dungeon!
Thought you ought to know. So now there's a troll on the loose in the castle. And, of course, Hermione wasn't there to know about it, so Harry and Ron run up to find her, and...
I think the trolls in the dungeon.
So after Harry's best advice ever, Harry whips out his wand and is about to cast his very first spell on this troll. Or he'll just grab onto the troll's club and hope that does something. So now Ron's their final hope, and coincidentally, after they had a class teaching them about an object levitating spell, Ron does this and basically causes the club to hit the troll in the head, knocking it out.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Why was there a troll released in the castle? Explained later. Also, Harry notices a bite or a scar on Snape's ankle. So after almost getting clubbed to death by a giant troll, it's time for a Quidditch match with Harry's new broomstick. the Nimbus 2000, which is the fastest broom ever made. For now. You know, why is it whenever these three are nearly killed by something, they immediately do something Quidditch related? Speaking of nearly killed, Harry's broom seems to be acting up similar to Neville's earlier. Hermione sees Snape muttering something and thinks he's jinxing the broom. Hermione sets his cloak on fire, which ruins his eye contact, and the broom is unjinxed, I guess. Before this mishap happened, Harry was after the golden snitch, of course, and he manages to get it. And yes, this is important in a much later movie as well. After the match, Harry and crew try to tell Hagrid that it was Snape who put a curse on Harry's broom, and of course, he doesn't believe him. God damn it, Hagrid! Yeah, you get the picture. We also learn that the Cerberus is actually Hagrid's pet, and has a name. Fluffy.
Why was he trying to get past that three-headed dog on Halloween?
Who told you about Fluffy?
Hagrid accidentally mentions Fluffy is guarding something, and that something that Fluffy is guarding is strictly between Dumbledore and a man named Nicholas Flamel, which Hagrid says he should not have said.
What that dog is guarding is strictly between Professor Dumbledore and Nicholas Flamel.
Nicholas Flamel?
I shouldn't have said that. I should not have said that.
Which you're gonna be hearing quite a bit of from him.
Then I let him to Dumbledore to guard the...
Yes?
Shouldn't have said that. Ain't no one going to get past Fluffy. Ain't a soul knows how, except for me and Dumbledore. I shouldn't have told you that. I should not have told you that.
It's now Christmas. Ron and Harry are playing Wizard's Chess. That is definitely not foreshadowing a sequence that will happen later in the movie. And Harry gets the infamous invisibility cloak, which he uses to snoop in the library in the middle of the night to search for a book on Flamel. And it happens to be in the restricted section. Okay, why there would be a restriction section on top of not being very well locked in the first place is beyond me. He opens a book and something interesting happens. This gets the attention of Filch, but Harry uses the cloak to sneak around him, but then comes across...
Severus,
You don't want me as your enemy, Quirrell.
What do you mean?
You know perfectly well what I mean. We'll have another little chat soon. When you've had time to decide where your loyalties lie.
Harry also comes across a mirror, and he sees some rather familiar-looking folks. Dumbledore finds Harry looking at it, and it's quite an interesting mirror, as it shows one's greatest desires. In a fascinating sort of way, it's a good and bad thing, because it can really be what someone wants to see. But at the same time, that's all it is. Just seeing what you want. It's not actually there. Which, depending on the subject, could lead to the viewer just watching it for eternity and wasting away. Or possibly going mentally insane.
So then it shows us what we want. Whatever we want.
Yes and no. It shows us nothing more or less than the deepest and most desperate desires of our hearts. Now you, Harry, who have never known your family, you see them standing beside you. But remember this, Harry. This mirror gives us neither knowledge or truth. Men have wasted away in front of it, even gone mad.
So the next day, Hermione shows up with a...
I had you looking in the wrong section.
Really?
Could I be so
So, we just spent like 10 solid minutes watching Harry walk through the restricted section to find out that it was the wrong section? Yeah. You know what? I'm done. Yeah. I'm really done. I just can't take this anymore. I had you looking through the wrong section. Whoops! Anyway, they find out that Nicholas Flamel was the guy who created...
the Sorcerer's Stone.
And what does it do?
It'll transform any metal into pure gold and produces the elixir of life, which will make the drinker immortal. That's what Fluffy's guarding on the 3rd floor. That's what's under the trapdoor. the Sorcerer's Stone.
Alright, so Harry and company sneak out after dark to Hagrid's hut without the cloak for some reason, and inform him that they know about the Sorcerer's Stone, and we get a bit more foreshadowing.
Of course! There are other things defending the stone, aren't there? Spells, enchantments.
That's right.
Also, Hagrid is hatching an egg that contains a dragon who he names... Charlie, or Sean, or Lenny,
Hello, Norbert.
Whatever. He won the egg at some pub he also got Fluffy from, and the original owner seemed to be happy to get rid of it. And yeah, Norbert is actually sort of important for later. Or at least the idea of Norbert is important for later. But they don't have much time to hang out at Hagrid's, cause Malfoy somehow knew Harry, Ron, and Hermione snuck out of the castle. Gee, if only Harry had a cloak that could turn him invisible, am I right? So Malfoy does what any tough kid does and tells McGonagall, who is the head of Gryffindor House, by the way, resulting in the three of them having detention. Or so Malfoy thinks.
All four of you will receive detention.
Excuse me, Professor. Perhaps I heard you wrong. I thought you said the four of us.
No, you heard me correctly, Mr. Malfoy. You see, honourable as your intentions were, you too were out of bed after hours.
So, after getting into trouble for hanging out at Hagrid's hut after school hours, their punishment is...
You'll be serving detention with Hagrid tonight.
Hanging out at Hagrid's after school hours. But they're not here just to hang out in the hut.
He's got a little job to do inside the dark forest.
So let me get this straight.
The Dark Forest is strictly forbidden to all students.
Okay. Unless you get detention, then here's a tent, some wood, and a lighter. Have fun camping, you little f***ers. So they're here because unicorns are getting the blood sucked out of them, kind of like a vampire victim. And it's their job to find either the recently dead unicorn or the thing that killed it.
What is that?
What we're here for. See that? That's unicorn blood, that is. I found one dead a few weeks ago. Now, this one's been hurt bad by something. So, it's our job to go and find the poor beast.
Hagrid, Ron, and Hermione search as one group, and Harry Malfoy and Hagrid's dog Fang, who is a cowardly dog by the way, search as their own group, cause, you know, safety for first years is #1 priority, am I right? They walk further in the forest and... But a centaur comes randomly out of nowhere and scares off the cloaked ghost thingy. And of course the others show up a little too late.
Harry Potter, this is where I leave you. You're safe now. Good luck.
Just be sure you don't participate in any tournaments or touch any trophies, and you'll be good. So later on, Harry tells Hermione and Ron that the rogue figure in the forest was indeed Voldemort. Oh my god. Who is this? I can't even do this anymore. Yes!
Expelliarmus!
Nope! Swiggity swag, what's in the bag? Huh. And I thought I could have trusted that guy wearing all black clothes with a really deep voice. Oh my god. I swear somebody comes at that door again. I'm gonna be even more unhappier. The rogue figure in the forest was Voldemort, which seems to be hinting at that he may be coming back soon. Right now, he's weak, which is why he was feeding off unicorn blood. And this gets Harry thinking Snape wants to get the stone for Voldemort since it is the elixir of life and grants immortality on the holder. Or something like that. I don't know. Flamel is still alive. but the stone isn't in his possession right now.
Who's the one
So,
wizard Voldemort always
however that works. The next morning, Harry gets an epiphany. And yes, this is why I said the dragon was kinda sorta important for later, earlier. So they go to Hagrid's and Harry's got a few questions.
Hagrid, who gave you the dragon egg? What did he look like?
I don't know. I never saw his face. He kept his hood up.
This stranger, though. You and he must have talked.
Well, you wanted to know what sort of creatures I looked after? I told him. I said, after Fluffy, a dragon's gonna be no problem.
Did you seem interested in Fluffy?
Well, of course he was interested in Fluffy. How often do you come across a three-headed dog, even if you're in the trade? But I told him, I said, the trick with any beast is to know how to calm him. Take Fluffy, for example. Just play him a bit of music and he falls straight to sleep. I shouldn't have told you that.
So they run off to McGonagall to ask if they can speak to Dumbledore. And of course, the only wizard that can protect Harry from Voldemort isn't here at the moment. And without looking around, making sure that Snape isn't close by, Harry explains his thoughts while Snape is behind him.
It was Snape, which means he knows how to get past Fluffy.
Good afternoon. Now, what would 3 young Gryffindors such as yourselves be doing inside on a day like this?
We were just...
You want to be careful. People will think you're up to something.
Now what do we do?
Go down the trapdoor.